Hello and welcome back to the Retail Revolution Diary, the unscripted behind the scene of DIY retail and the everyday of being a retail strategy partner. So welcome back. I'm so happy to be there today. I have a very interesting topic. It's a topic that we don't hear often, so that's why I wanted to share it with you. Recently, I had a discussion with a prospect, now becoming a client, which is great. But when we have the discussion, the first thing they told me is our turnover, our 25 turnover evolve of plus 5%. Wow. I want to say all the time when I'm chatting with suppliers, the first thing is our 2025 turnover, it's a disaster. Fine. Let's start with that. So these clients told me that their turnover evolved quite well. Yeah, market is a bit slow, but that's all right. They don't feel it so much. So I want to say, wow, I was so happy because they were not complaining, they had a very different attitude. And I want to say, because I believe deeply that it's not a story of market is slow, it's more a story of market is evolving. And you will see, and I hope that at the end of this podcast, you will have a different point of view regarding these, and you will not use anymore market is slow, but you will have a different approach and perspective regarding this topic. So to describe you quickly, this supplier is a leader in a different category of the DIY market in the industry. We just had a catch up because we never really talked together. I knew obviously the company, I knew the brand, and I was just curious to see if they had some need. And we just had an open discussion to see if it could be a fit, if they have any needs. And to be honest, I was also interesting to see because I worked with a lot of brands, a lot of big brands as well. And since I started, all the time I have always the same words from these brands saying that market is slow, etc. Customers are not really going to store. And we heard as well the retailers saying that the traffic in store is reducing quite a lot. So yes. And I want to say my belief is market is not just slow because customers keep purchasing, they just purchase differently and also different kind of product. So market is expecting something else. That's my deep belief. I feel that not a lot of people agree with this one, but that's all right. But it's just we evolve a lot as a customers, and obviously customers are expecting different things. So basic product will always be basic product, but customers are expecting something different today. And the DIY industry, depending of the suppliers, the category, as well as the retailers, can be a bit slow to move. Yeah, because when you talk of retailers, just because it's big organization, lot of stores. So when they need to make a move, we need to anticipate, and that's okay. It's just we need to work on this rhythm because I believe there is this big paquebot move to do, but there is also this agility move, and that's right for retailers as for suppliers. So coming back to this discussion, because this discussion make me think so much behind. So these suppliers telling me that they have plus 5% in their turnover, and I believe growth never happens by accident. Growth is planned, but growth is structure, and it's repetition, consistency, but you rarely grow by accident. It's never I've did plus 50% on my turnover. I was not expecting that. It can happen, is what we call luck, but that's not my belief. My belief is if you want to grow, you need to work and repeat consistently. That's my core belief in my business and in my work with suppliers. So we dig a bit more inside their work around the last years to understand where they are and where they want to go. So they have a very strong ambition plan, which in my mind is coherent with their their capacity and capabilities. So that's all right. It's just like I understand that they invest a lot in their range, in their make or buy decision. They invest as well in the tender process because they understood that now tenders for some retailers are quite systematic and like you need to play this game, like despite the fact that it's taking a lot of resources, etc. But it's just they invest into this process of understanding. They invest as well in private label to like prepared and work with private label. That was an interesting point because as a lot of big brand, you want to invest in private label, but not to jeopardize your brand, which can make sense. But today retailers are investing massively in private label. So like, once again, there is a friction because there is a big gap in the understanding. In my mind, you need to have a proper plan and invest in both if you want to work with both. After, if you don't want to do any brand or if you don't want to do any private label, that's a choice and that's a decision that you need to make inside your organization. But if you decide to invest in both, you cannot, let's say yes, but that's the baby that we don't want to develop. Like that, I think that is very important to be clear on that straight from the beginning of your strategic thinking, let's say. So these suppliers finally keep investing, and I want to say they didn't complain. And most of the time is something that I'm trying because I'm very like energized and dynamic person, as you may like see and understand across the different contents that I can share, is just stop complaining, please. If you watch this video today, yes, the market is slow, but my question is, what have you done today to make it different? Because that's something when like suppliers say like, oh yeah, like we are going through tender and tender and tender and we keep losing. It's not bad luck, it's a system issue that you need to work on. And that's very important because if you don't fix that, the story will always repeat and repeat and repeat. And no, you will not get the result that you want. So can you just maybe pause this video, take a minute and make a list of the things that are not working today in your daily work with retailers. And I want to say, if you are retailers listening that, because I know now we have different retailers listening this podcast as well, do the same with the suppliers. Like put on the table what's not going well. And based on that, pick up 1-2 priorities and work on them. Build a system around this priority, around the result that you want to reach. Because if you don't step back a minute, you will always act as a firefighter and you will never have chance to actually fix the roots. So growth doesn't happen by accident. So find where you want to grow and fix the system like that you can actually grow and enjoy the result of this growth. Another belief that I have, and it's also something that reveal during this discussion with this supplier, is market is expecting new things, new product, new way of distributing, new, let's say, content, and all of that today. I think personally, we have a lot of products that are really boring on the market. I'm sorry to say that, but today a lot of products on this market currently in 26 are boring. The content is boring, and even the key account manager behind that try to sell that, like sometimes don't believe at 100% in this product because the product is boring. And today customers will love to have storytelling. We have to love a lot of content because we want to be like, I want to say, expert. So I will take another product from a different industry. I want to buy an air fryer and I will be like, all right, I will start to make all the search around the air fryer. What can I do with it? Is it better to have the drawer? Is it better to have the grid? Like, what do I need? What is that? Why is that? What is the different temperature? What are the different things? And all of that, basically, you want to have this information to make your purchase before. And the channel engine release an analyze a market analyze last year, and it was really interesting because they said that people for a low value product in Europe search during 54 minutes before to make a purchase. 54 minutes for a low value product. Okay, 94 minutes for high value product. And the highest one was obviously French people, because why not? Because I'm French, obviously. But 1 hour 41 minutes for French people for a high value product. Now I have that in mind, and think about the content online on your product. So when you are sending the media content to your retailers and you put two pictures of the product with a big zoom on it, obviously the retailers will not be happy about that, because at the end the customers will not be happy neither about that. So it's something in my mind you need to think about, because if we need 94 minutes of search online on your product before to make a purchase, are you ready for that? Did you do the right content online with your product, and not just boring content with zoom on product and no storytelling, no emotion, but spend some time thinking around your product in order to understand what kind of content you can deliver. So it's actually an exercise that I'm doing with one of my clients, because my client is a pure industrial, super technical, and it's very boring product, and I tell them that it's a boring product, but that's okay. We just need to make it a bit more understandable for the customers, like that the customers will not think that searching this kind of product will be like, oh, what's a pain, like I need to spend time to understand which product do I want and blah blah blah. Like, is when you are started to think about buying a new computer, for example, you are like, oh, that's exciting. I will start to look at the different brand, look to the different models, see what I need, etc. That's exciting, because we consider the computer, the laptop, as like an attractive product. And yeah, like most of products in the DIY industry sounds not attractive, except for the professional, or except for very specific DIYers that are totally into that. But it's something there where you need to think and build, and it's what I've done with one of my clients. And yeah, we started to have very interesting way of thinking. So you can under that yourself. If you want somebody to help and bring you fresh perspective, you just need to message me. That's all right. We can organize this kind of workshop together. But that, it's literally easy, and it's the first step in the agility process that you can start with. So coming back to this initial discussion, you can tell me, oh, Fiorella, you say that, but you precise this supplier is a leader in their industry. Yes. But you have also new entrants in the industry. You have new competitors, new brands coming as well in the industry. And if you are currently not leader, not new entrant, you are in this industry as well. You have knowledge, you have capacity, you are still there, like you didn't close your company. You have the capacity to start thinking differently, to start investing differently. So you need to build all of that. And to build all of that, you need to accept that the market is not slow, the market is in transition, and you need to start to think beyond, bring different perspectives, understand you as a person. How are you buying today? When you are doing your buying process, your buying journey, what are you doing? Start with yourself. You have all the knowledge inside yourself, and then start to applying in your product, in your organization. So if we keep going, no, retailers are not too demanding today. They are demanding according to what the customers is requesting, and the request of the customers are increasing. They are more exigent, they are more demanding. So yes, we all need, or the chain need to adapt. And I think it's very interesting to change your perspective on these topics, on these specific topics, because you need to start, because you are part of this value chain from the production to the final customer. So you need to bring solution to your retailers and to your final customers. So market is in transition. An exercise that I can propose you, it's an exercise that I love doing. It's just to put your turnover on timeline on the last 15 years. So just take the just like do a timeline. You put the 15 years and you put your turnover. You can be more precise and put your retail turnover or your professional turnover, depend which segment you want to understand. And based on that, you can started to put then what's happened. So if there is a new norm, if there is like a new innovation at this moment in time, if a retailer's launch his private label at this moment in time, if you have a competitors, etc. And based on that, you will be able to see what's happened, how you react to that, or how did you anticipate as well. So this exercise is really powerful because you can actually understand your way of thinking inside your organization. Based on this knowledge, you will be able to be like, okay, am I happy with that? Yes or no? And if you are not happy with that, then plan the next 15 years and start putting some information about innovation that you could hear. Even if you don't have the date, especially, you can put them on a potential period that sounds like logical for you. And I want to say, after, if you are working with the CBAM taxes, yes, of course, you can as well put it and see how it will impact, like if you are working with the anti-dumping tax, etc. So there is a lot of things, so norm, innovation, that tax, so you can add all of that into your matrix, and based on that you should have a pretty clear view of where you are and where you should go. And based on that, you will start to have a plan. So thank you for your time today. I hope this podcast brings you some fresh perspective. So once again, if you enjoy this content, please like it and subscribe. It's helping my work. And thanks again to all of you who have sent me different messages, because sometimes I'm receiving messages to say like, oh, I listened to chapter 5 and I really enjoyed that, or I listened that and I really enjoyed that. So thank you for all of you for these feedbacks, and I see you soon. Cheers!